May the Noble Triple Gem bless you all. Welcome to the Enlight. Today we are going to start a new video series which we are going to study about the mind. You might be wondering why we need to study about our mind. My dear friends, throughout your entire lifetime, from dawn to dusk, from womb to tomb, almost all the people are experiencing negative emotions such as mental pressure, stress, depression, anxiety, addictions, fear, grief, anger, lustful feelings. Like all these negative emotions, all these irritation, unsettling thoughts are arising in your mind because of lack of understanding the functionality of the mind. So through this video series, what I'm going to transfer to you is the wisdom, the understanding, what's actually going on within the mind. It is because, my dear friends, we all are human beings. We have an incredible ability to reflect about ourselves. What is the difference between animal and a human? What do you think? What is the difference between animal and a human? Human has an incredible ability, capacity to reflect about their mind, reflect about their self. But my dear friend, we have been using this ability to reflect and understand about what is actually happening in the outside world, isn't it? Since you were born, until you die, what you're seeking is something happening in the outside. But my dear friends, we have this incredible ability to reflect about ourselves. We haven't been using this ability to think about us. That's why throughout this video series, I'm going to unveil the mechanism, how you can use this. And that is kind of meditation as well. My dear friends, this is the meditation that Buddha has explained. So, throughout this video series, we are going to use the Buddhist principles to understand about the mind. So you might be wondering that whether you have to become a Buddhist to understand this. No, my friend. As long as you can hear my words and understand what I'm saying right at this moment, you're using your mind to perceive what's actually happening, like what I'm saying. So that means you are eligible to understand about your mind. Because dogs cannot understand what I'm saying. The cat cannot understand what I'm saying. The animals don't understand what I'm saying. But you understand. That means you have this incredible ability to reflect and comprehend what's actually happening in the mind. So my ask of you is, throughout this video series, what I'm going to explain to you, don't take it as theoretical things. I'm not going to talk about something theoretical. I'm trying my best to convey this message to you through the practical examples that you might experience throughout your entire life. Because all these concepts that I'm practicing, actually, they are very practical. And throughout this video series, you will go through all your life experiences, and then you will find out what's actually happening within you. Because the Buddhist principles actually explains how the mind works. So you have what you perceive as your reality. And I'm going to give you a new perspective, new way of looking into yourself. And that understanding, that way of thinking can liberate yourself from all the sufferings and negative emotions that you might be experiencing. You are experiencing throughout your life. So my invitation is, stay tuned with this, and always when you're listening to these videos, as I mentioned, we are going to study about the mind. This is the science. We are doing experiments, and all these experiments, where are you going to do the exact experiments? Is it in the outside? No, my friends, you don't have to do experiments in the outside. Instead of doing experiments in the outside, you have the lab of life, which is your experiences that you have came across throughout your entire life. These are the lab materials I'm going to use to convey this wisdom to you. Because the points that I'm conveying to you, always you have to actively participate, engage throughout this conversation, and you have to always reflect about yourself and always comprehend this message, always question, analyze, and reflect about yourself. That is the way to find out who you are. That is the way to find out the inner mechanics of the mind, because right at this moment, you are using this mind to perceive what I am saying. So your life experience is actually happening right now as well. So this is something like you are setting a camera, you are setting a third person, you are setting a third eye with you are looking about you from a drone shot. So what you are going to do, something like that. So I believe that you might be very actively listening to this. I mean, you have to have active listening, and this active listening will actually help you to understand this the science that I want to convey to you. My dear friends, I have to tell you that this science that I wanted to convey to you is coming from the Buddha, who born to this world 2,500 years ago, and he was the greatest man who walked on this earth, who had this wisdom, who discovered the ultimate essence of the functionality of the mind. Actually, Buddha didn't come to this world to explain about a religion. Buddhism is not a religion, my friend. Even though yes, of course, there are some shapes of Buddhism that people are worshipping and all these things. I do worshipping as well. But what I'm saying is, there's a science behind this. As I mentioned a couple of videos before, that I was a biochemistry research at Australian National University, and I did my PhD in there, and I worked as a research fellow. And after completing my degree and after doing my research, I found very interesting to find this pathway to research about my mind. So as I mentioned earlier, and like in this video, what I'm doing is experiments. Still I'm doing the research, but my lab is not in the outside. But I'm using all the methods and theories and the formulas, equations that Buddha has discovered like 2,500 years ago. So my invitation is, now let's start this business. You have been using your mind since you were born without understanding, without reflecting how this is working. And because of that, you are encountered with all these negative and suffering emotions, negative emotions that you have experienced throughout your life. And let's quit this. You born as a human being to win, my dear friend. Don't lose. You won't be able to rest in peace. Even though, like in the Bible, it says that you can rest in peace, but with the cravings in your mind, will you be able to rest in peace at your dying breath? Think about these things. At your dying breath, you always, I have witnessed so many people at their dying breath, they need something. They were seeking, they were searching throughout their entire life to find out something. It's a quest of happiness, my dear friend. And I'm not saying that you won't be able to find happiness. Throughout this video series, the benefit that you are getting is you will be able to find the unconditional happiness that Buddha has discovered. So throughout this video series, stay tuned with me, and I'm going to explain to you all the functionalities of the mind which you will be able to understand, reflect, and comprehend, and you will be able to surface up the hidden happiness that was hidden within you right at this moment as well. So my dear friends, until we meet next time again, I want you to think about what you're doing for the cravings. When the cravings arise in your mind, what are the things that you're doing? So reflect about that. So we are going to discuss something very interesting in the next episode about the cravings and what you have been doing for your cravings, and whether it is worth doing those activities to cure the cravings. So until we meet next time again, so do this, in your day-to-day life, think about the cravings that you're experiencing and reflect about them and the things that you're doing to come out from the craving, and whether it's okay, whether it's worth doing those activities to come out of the craving. If you have any questions regarding the points that I have discussed throughout this talk, and feel free to put them in the comment section. So we will try our best to answer those questions that you have. So don't think that I'm not delivering a religion. right? I'm not talking about the Buddhist religion. I'm talking about the science of the mind. I'm talking about I'm using the Buddhist core principles to find out, to reflect, to understand the mind as we all know. So see you in the next episode of Know Your Mind, the Buddhist Science, to brighten up your life.